Hello dandelions! Welcome to another Lulu Soul video. I am Lulu Soul, and this is Art and Chat. Art and Chat is where I talk about something I'm interested in while a time-lapse of my art plays in the background. Today's topic is going to be Final Fantasy XIV. It is an MMORPG that I've been playing off and on for about 5 years now, more off than on. And I have decided to return to the game finally, after about a year's break. Because of that, the art that you're going to see today is going to be of my in-game character. In this video, I'm going to go over what Final Fantasy XIV is, why I left the game while I have come back to the game, and what I've been doing since. I hope you are excited for this journey, and let's get started. The artwork you're going to be seeing on the screen is actually my character that I used to play through Final Fantasy XIV. I've had her for the entire time. So for the 5+ years that I've been playing the game off and on, she's always been there by my side. Her name has changed from Lulu Soul to Marie Noggle, back to Lulu Soul again. Her appearance has changed from a cat girl to a bunny girl, back to a cat girl again. But the account itself has been with me from the beginning, and the character holds a special place in my heart. As such, I thought she would be a fitting subject for this week's time-lapse. So what is Final Fantasy XIV? What is this game? It's really, really hard to describe what Final Fantasy XIV is by using a short summary. Like, it's a game where you create a character, you play through an RPG-style storyline, you've got dungeons and boss fights and fishing and house decorating. Or you can go off and play mini-games for hours, or you can pick flowers for hours. Not to mention that there is the main storyline that you can follow, but then there is this plethora of side storylines, like, all over the place that you can get into. And then of course there's like deciding to, like, once the main storyline itself is over, you have the raids and you have the harder versions of those fights. So you can go and you, like, there's a lot. It's a lot. The game is a lot, and it's huge. Like, I would almost be willing to bet that there are 14 fully fleshed out games within Final Fantasy XIV. I might be stretching it like a little bit, but that's really what it feels like sometimes. Yeah, honestly, I could probably do an entire future video of me covering just like all of the in-game possibilities that are at your fingertips as a player. Now I know what you're thinking. If this game is so amazing, well, why did I stop playing it? Well, there was a number of reasons. First of all, I was attempting too many things inside the game at once. I was doing something I mentioned before, the gathering, I was doing the crafting, I was doing the main storyline. Like, I was trying to do as much as possible because I wanted to do everything, and that was actually pretty overwhelming. It got to a point to where I would log on and do my dailies, which are the things that you can do in the game every day that kind of resets at a certain time period. Once I got done with my dailies, I'd been playing for an hour already, and there was still so much more I wanted to do that I would just end up just, like, staring at the screen, just completely overwhelmed. In addition to that, we had just moved back to the States from overseas. We had our daughter. I was like really big into knitting at the time. Honestly, I needed a break from gaming in general. And when a good amount of our friends stopped playing Final Fantasy to go play a different game, even though we knew that they'd come back, I chose to just stop playing in general. Their break lasted about 2 weeks. My break lasted somewhere around a year. Like, yeah, every once in a while, like, I would log back in and be like, hey, I'm gonna play, I'm totally gonna play, guys. And then I would stop after one session, and I'd be gone for another few months. But now that I have had this extensive break, I'm ready to come back. I miss the game. I miss playing with my friends, I miss doing the dungeons, I miss getting hyped up for the storyline, and coming up here in November, Endwalker lands, and Endwalker is the newest expansion, which means the main storyline, which is the main focus of playing the game, is back. And oh my god, if you are interested in Final Fantasy XIV at all, and you have not seen any of the trailers for Endwalker, just stop what you're doing, pause this video, go watch it, and then come back, because that alone can tell you why I decided to return to this game. They're going to introduce what looks like Stardew Valley farming sim, and I simp for that. I'm here for that. And thanks to the nature of Final Fantasy XIV, specifically the nature of the guild, which in Final Fantasy XIV, guilds are called free companies. Thanks to the nature of our free company, now that I'm ready to end my break, I can return bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Like, I'm ready to come back. My account is still there waiting for me. It didn't get, I had to start paying the subscription fee again, but outside of that, everything I had when I stopped playing. It's like returning home from college. I don't know, I didn't have this experience, but like on TV, you have the character that comes home from college and their room is just like it was when they left. It's kind of like that feeling of coming home. And my friends were there waiting for me. My free company welcomed me back with open arms, because it really was like returning home. But now that I'm back, I had the first day of where like, yeah, y'all, I'm back, let's do some dailies, let's jump back into things, and I realized a lot has changed. So what should I do now that I've returned? Well, I would definitely like to keep from becoming overwhelmed again. So the plan, for me at least, is to focus on one portion of the game at a time, until I'm in a place where I don't feel as overwhelmed with everything. The game itself has had a few changes. For example, the class that I'm playing right now, Healer, has a lot more abilities than I remember, and I'm really rusty in the gameplay mechanics. So for right now, what I have decided that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a function called New Game Plus, which is where I can take my level 80 healer and replay the storyline on that character. I'll get synced down when I do instances, dungeons, boss fights, things like that. My level will go down, so I will be able to organically relearn the skills that I need. I'm also going to be taken through mechanics from the very simplistic nature up to the more complex as I progress through the storyline, which is something I didn't even realize was happening the first time I played. Because of that, as I'm playing through this New Game Plus, since I will be streaming it, I'm going to be pointing out a lot of these game mechanics as kind of a, hey, this is what I wish I knew when I was playing for the first time. I plan on taking this New Game Plus as a YouTube series, so I will be making it into videos. And because of that, you're going to be seeing a slight change in the content that I'll be making in the future. Now, in addition to relearning the character, I'm also relearning about the storyline, because I skipped over a lot of the storyline the first time around. I was in a big hurry to catch up with everybody. I was in a big hurry to just get to the next fight, get to the next dungeon. Like I wanted to consume as much of the game as possible, and this time I'm able to relax, take my time, and experience the story more organically, like it was meant to be experienced all along. Because one of the most amazing things about Final Fantasy is the storyline is always going to be there for you. You don't have to rush through everything like I did the first time. And I didn't realize that. So now I'm going back, and It's some of the things I remembered from when I was trying to follow the storyline, and some stuff just blows my mind because I had no idea. And I have all of this information that a new player technically should not have because I have paid attention to the more recent storylines. So I'm seeing callbacks of entire cities and continents all the way back in like the first few plot lines, and I'm like, I had no idea they were mentioned this early. So I'm super hyped about that. Honestly, New Game Plus is going to be a great way for me to dip my toes back into the vast ocean that is the in-game content, and I am hoping that once I get to November, once Endwalker hits, I'll have regained my confidence, I'll have regained my skill set, and I will be able to step forward into the new content to help you guys experience it too. And since I'll be streaming my whole experience, I can bring any interested dandelions right on through the sweeping currents along with me. So be sure to keep an eye out for any of those upcoming videos that will be chronicling my journey. The best way you can do that is to hit both that like and subscribe. You can also catch my streams live on twitch.tv/LuluSoul, and you can hang out with me in my Discord called Dandelion Fields if you're interested in that. And that's really all that there is for this video. So until I see you again, stay strong, dandelions. Bye.